like a piece of paper. Silence and doubters and all of you haters. You sour and green like now and later. One thing I don't play about is my paper. Mine on my money. Money on my mind.
You're locked in with Atlanta's hottest hip-hop station. The Hype 87.3.
That's right. It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live right here in ATL on the Hype 87.3. And today I do have a very, very special guest, a superstar out of Albany, out here in Atlanta checking in. What's going on, family? And I love that shirt, too, by the way.
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're checking in from, all that good stuff.
Name is T. Lee. Go by TeeLDub. Chose TeeLDub because when I tried to get T. Lee as the artist name, it was already taken. So I had to come on, be creative. I said, okay, let me try something. So on TeeLDub, L-E-E. Originally from Albany, Georgia. Been in Atlanta. My family is here, so I've been in Atlanta for years.
Yeah.
This is basically like home for me. Started making music a while back. My high school partner of mine, we had a record company back in the days called Southern Slang Records.
Yeah.
We had a few artists on the production deals on that label, and we got out of it, kind of closed the record company down, and I kind of got out of music for a few years. And recently, my wife heard some of my old music that I made, and she was really impressed, and she was like, "Why did you stop?"
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, well, I just kind of lost interest, and it didn't kick off like we thought it should. So she said, you should start back. So she started actually playing some of my old music.
Good for her. That's dope. I love it.
And then so when she started doing that, I said, okay. So I got the inspiration to record Time to Shine, which was the single I released last year in August. Did really well. I think it's probably close to about 100,000 streams now.
Man, congratulations.
And that's all independent. All me, no company, no production, nothing. Just all me grinding it out. And then I was looking for music to record a second single, and I came across 21 Mills. That's the producer for Dynamite.
Yeah.
He sent me the track. Initially, I fell in love with it. I think it may have taken me about a day or two to write the lyrics.
Yeah.
I came up with the hook, and I went to the studio, laid it down, and
now you got a dynamite hit, no pun intended.
I hope so. I've been getting real good reviews on it, so I'm excited. I'm hoping it to be the summer anthem.
Yes.
Summer vibes.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you being here today. I'm so glad that, we are able to sit down and have this conversation, because I feel like we're kind of at the same point in our life where we want to go with the industry, the music, things of that nature.
Sure.
Being that you've been doing music since about 2003, right? Mm-hmm. Fast forwarding to now, how would you say that your approach towards music has changed? Because times have changed.
Absolutely. The digital age has definitely changed. Back in the days, we were CDs, handing out on the street. But now the digital age definitely changed the scope of the music. It's much easier to get your music heard now as opposed to back in the days, because it wasn't. The internet was there, but it wasn't to this magnitude that it is now.
Yes.
All these outlets, you got Spotify, iTunes, and you just have a lot of different avenues to be able to get your music out as opposed to back in the day. So that really helped, especially being an independent artist.
Absolutely.
I know there was some discussions recently with JD when he was talking about, why people, I guess, would want to be independent or whatever. And it was mixed reviews on it, you know. For me, that's the route I would like, and I'm going to take, until I get to that point where I feel like it's an opportunity for me that benefits me.
Sure.
But for me being an independent, I can control what I do, when I do it, how I do it. I don't have to report, have the deadline to have this album done by this time. I just don't want that.
That's the biggest complaint that I hear from artists that sign. Because I've interviewed multiple artists that are signed to, whether it be an independent label or major labels. That's their biggest complaint, is they lose that creative control. Yeah. They're like, I can't drop because the label's holding back and this, that, and the third. So I agree with you. If you have the means to fund your own career and do your own thing, then stay independent.
Sure.
Get your own buzz. That way you don't owe nobody nothing.
Absolutely.
Because that's all it really is a loan
Yep.
with these labels.
Pretty much. Pretty much. You got to pay it back anyway.
Absolutely. And then some sometimes,
Yep.
you know,
Pretty
with
cool.
interest.
Absolutely.
So growing up in Albany, but living here in Atlanta for both, you know, for quite a few periods of
Sure.
time, how has living in both cities like shaped your sound and, you know, the way you do music?
I would say living in Albany is a smaller town, of course.
Yeah, it's a great city, though.
It is. It's a great city. It's called a good life city, actually.
okay.
That's a nickname. But Atlanta just exposes you to so much more.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, you know, my cousin was a DJ. I always tell this.
In
funny-
Albany or
no,
in
in
Atlanta?
Yeah,
Okay.
all my people are from Atlanta. But he was a DJ, and the first song that really, really got me into wanting to do hip hop, I don't know if you recall this song, it was called the Double Dutch Bus.
Of course. I'm an OG, y'all. I be knowing.
I must have played that song, man. It was on cassette tape at that time.
I know
too.
about them cassette tapes, too.
I must have played that song forever, but just having the influence of the Atlanta hip hop scene, like we just had the 404
Yes.
day recently with Shadi and Raheem the Dream and Kilo, having that inspiration, and then fast forward into like the 90s with Outkast. I'm a huge Outkast
Me too.
fan. Goody Mob,
Yeah.
the whole DF, anything that came out the DF, I'm a fan. It just gives you more exposure to the industry as opposed to coming from a small city like Albany. I think, and I don't want to misspeak, I just know what I know about. I think Field Mob probably was the most successful group coming out of the city.
I agree, yeah.
They got the most notoriety that I'm aware of.
Me too. And if there's anybody else, we apologize.
Yeah, no disrespect at all, but that's what's the difference to me, just the exposure. You know, everybody's in Atlanta. Atlanta's been called the second Motown, you know.
Yeah.
It's just that type of atmosphere if you really want to pursue this type of career.
Absolutely.
So that would be the difference for me from Albany to
I
Atlanta.
agree. Do you feel like, though, if you had stayed in Albany, you would still want to pursue music?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let me kind of back up a little. I was born and raised in Albany. I left Albany when I was 17, 18,
Okay.
going to college.
Got
I went
you.
to Birmingham, Alabama. I attended Miles College, HBCU in Birmingham,
Beautiful.
Alabama. Go Golden Bears. So I was in Birmingham for probably about 20 years almost.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I stayed in Birmingham, and I got in the hip hop scene there with my cousin. He had a record label that had Play from Kid and Play.
Yeah, okay.
I think it was called G Sport Music, if I'm not mistaken. Don't, if I'm wrong, bump. I'm my bad. My memory's a little bad, but I think it was called G Sport Entertainment, and Play from Kid and Play was on the label. And from there, I helped do a lot of promotions with that. I actually was working with an artist there, and back then I wrote my first song then, but I didn't put it out, but I still wrote it. But I had the love for the music way back when I was in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then when I hooked back up with my childhood buddy, Jermaine J. Beasley, shout out to J. Beasley and J. Mass Entertainment. That's when he was living in Stone Mountain at the time.
Okay.
And I was still in Birmingham. So I would travel back and forth from Birmingham to Atlanta on the weekends. We would record, and then we started our own label. We had our own studio. So that's pretty much how it came about.
I love
Yeah.
it. So the label is Southern Slang Records.
It was Southern Slang Records. Yes.
Okay. So how did you guys come up with the idea to create your own label?
Well, my partner, Jay Beasley, he was in a rap group in Albany called The Neighborhood.
Okay.
And they had a local buzz.
The Neighborhood. I
Yeah.
like that.
They had a local buzz going back when we were like in high school.
Yeah.
And then he continued to do music. He's a producer, DJ. And so when I graduated from college, I reached back out to him, and he was up here in Stone Mountain, and I was telling him about the things I was doing with G Sport. And he was like, man, you know, I'm still putting the beats down.
Yeah.
Like, word. So I came over on one weekend. We were in his apartment up in Stone Mountain. And I laid my first track called My Mother's Love.
That's beautiful.
And from that, we just kind of, every weekend I would come over. Man, we had enough music. We had a couple of hours. We would rent studio time out, but we did eventually rent a space out and had our own studio.
That's the way to go eventually.
Oh, yeah.
You got, like, you start out maybe at the house
in
or
the closet.
in the closet, you know.
The poor man soundproof with just like the hustle and flow. We had the milk carton.
Yeah, listen, it's what you got to do. Even if you do in the closet, the clothing kind of helps absorb that sound, you know.
Sure.
But it gets to the point where it's like, okay, we got to have an actual location.
Yeah. And that's what we did. We rented our actual studio was in Tucker, Georgia.
Oh, okay, dope.
Yeah, and we had quite a few, like I said, artists on. We didn't have a record deal, but we did like production deals with them.
Yeah.
We had Cotton Pickers, Daniel Street, Young E out of Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
We had a couple of cats out of New York, Mo and Ty. We had a little nice roster.
I love it. I love it. Your record, Time to Shine, it came to you in a dream.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. Does that happen normally? Do you have dreams and then a song comes, or is that the only time that's ever happened?
I think Time to Shine came to me in a dream, like you said. But my creativity happens for some reason when I'm asleep. I got real bad insomnia. My wife could tell you, man.
Me too.
And stuff just starts coming to me at night for some reason.
That brain starts going,
yeah.
I know that all too well.
So with Time to Shine, I don't remember what happened. I think I was probably listening to something, but I know the beat because I actually produced, me and my partner, Jay Beasy, we produced the beat together. But the melody I came up with in my head. I was just asleep one night and all of a sudden I kept hearing this melody in my head.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the track, it's just that da 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 da. I heard that in my head. So
I got to do something with this.
So I called Jay Beasley up, of course.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, man, I got this tune in my head. I got to get down.
Yeah.
So he said, cool, come on. Because he's back in Albany now. He said, come on back now. I said, okay, cool. So I went down and I played out the melody.
Okay.
But if you know about producing, people think it's a real quick process when it's really not.
Yeah.
So I was able to at least get the tempo or the beat down. And I said, man, you know what? Let me go back home. So I bought my own digital recorder. I got Logic. I got me a MIDI keyboard.
Okay.
I got my monitors, and I actually created the beat.
Man.
And so when I created
That's
the beat,
dope.
yeah, I took it back to him, and he tuned it up, put some highs in
Sure.
it, made sure everything was synced up and everything. But that's at night. I just start actually Dynamite. I
Came to you at night, late at night?
At night.
Can't sleep?
I can't sleep. And I'll get up sometimes at night. My wife would be like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. Because we got a downstairs, and that's where my studio is. So I'll get up sometimes and just go downstairs. Because when it's in my mind, I got to get it out.
Understood.
So, yeah.
Understood.
That's the creative process.
And everybody's is different. Listen, I'm like you. I'll sometimes lay in bed and that's when my mind starts working. And I start thinking about stuff, and sometimes I overthink stuff. And I'm like, why is this even going through my head?
Sure.
And it will literally keep me up sometimes for hours.
Sure.
And I even try to find ways, how do I shut my brain down? How do I stop? And it's like, I feel like the more that I try to do that,
Sure.
the more it keeps me up. And I'm just like, but that's good though. You're getting you're drawing your inspirations through those times. And like I said, everybody's a little different.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You've named Goody Mob, Outkast, Tupac as some of your influences.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel like you honor their legacy, but still make your own mark in the industry?
I try to be with my music, and with me having a 4-year-old daughter now.
Yeah.
I try to, and I'm not knocking anybody, that you do what you do. I try not to have a lot of profanity in my music.
I love that though. Makes you more marketable.
Yeah. Actually, these 2 singles that I have, and then there's no, I think I may say ass. I think
That's okay, a little ass here and there.
Yeah. I think it's a kicking ass like judo. Yeah,
Right.
That's it. But I just try to be different. Those artists they set their trends by originality.
Yes.
They didn't sound like nobody. Again, no knock, man. I don't want nobody to think I'm knocking, but for me, when I turn on the radio now, everybody sounds the same. I can't tell who from what because of the, I guess, the auto-tune sound that's going on.
Yes.
So with me, those artists help me create originality. Like, I don't think I sound like no one else.
Yeah.
I've, gotten some, you sound like old school, man. Oh, man, I am. That's my bread. That's my bread. So those artists just kind of help me hone into originality.
I love that.
And not trying to do trends. And again, not knocking anybody because the ones that doing the trends getting the money and they making the money. So I much respect, definitely, but I want to be my own. I want to set my own trend and have my own sound and identity.
Absolutely. And I think, respectfully, that when you do have your own sound, like you said, it's not knocking anybody, but I feel like you sustain more longevity.
Sure.
Like these people that we named, shout out to Big Gip with Goody Mob. That's my homie, man. He actually was here with me not too long ago and interviewed. And I feel like people like that can still, all these years later, go places and people are going to be like, oh, that's Goody Mob. Oh, that's Outkast. Or, whatever. Some of the artists that are coming out now that do the trendy stuff, they come and go. They go as quickly as they come. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And like you said, if that's what they want, that's cool.
Absolutely. That's
cool. But for someone like yourself, you want that longevity and you want your own sound.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. So you've had tracks like Who Got the Flow, Georgia on My Mind. Yep. Let's talk about some of those of your earlier songs.
Okay.
How has your artistic sound changed from those to what you're doing now?
Interesting story behind Who Got the Flow. So, again, we had Southern Slang Records out, and we had an artist. I'm not going to call any names, not trying to throw no shade on nobody, but we had an artist that actually, Who Got the Flow, that was his song. So that was going to be our first single we were going to promote.
Yeah.
I had set up a video shoot for it in Birmingham at my alma mater. I had the band ready. I had paid half of the money for the video shoot.
Yeah.
Ready to go, man. We on point, ready to go. So the morning of the shoot, I pull up to the artist's house. He ghosted me.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Were you scared? Like, what happened, bro?
I can't tell. And again, there's no knock.
Yeah.
No disrespect. That's why I'm not calling any names.
Of course. I'm the same way, too. Sometimes you got to leave that out of the equation.
He ghosted me. It's the truth. I mean, he knows it.
Yeah.
I'm not telling a lie. So we were too far along in the process.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, man? And actually, I came up with the hook, the Who Got the Flow hook. So I was co-writer on the song anyway.
Sure.
So I said, man, you know what? We too far along on this thing, man. The train is rolled. We can't stop it now. I'm not going to get my money back.
Yeah, we might as well keep pushing.
So we kept pushing. I said, man, I'll do it.
Yeah, I love that.
I said, I'll do it.
That's the type of attitude that you got to have, like rather than just throwing the towel in, you're like, you know what? I'm going to take the lead and I'll make it happen.
So I went and I shot it and I kept his vocal. He wrote the vocals. He got credit for I didn't want his credit, but I was co-wrote. I came up with the hook. And I shot the video. Did decent, for that time.
Yeah.
We never got to that level that we wanted to. And with Georgia on My Mind, I created that song at the time when Ray Charles was passing away.
Georgia.
That's what came. That's
Georgia.
how I came.
I can't sing, y'all, but I love that record. I'm sorry.
And mine was just Georgia on my mind.
Hey.
Every time I rhyme, I got Georgia on my mind. Oh, wow. That was actually the song my wife heard.
Okay. That's an anthem right there.
And we had I forget the young lady that sung the hook. I think her name was Olympia. But she sung the hook. It was hot, man. It was really hot. And ironically, around that same time, that's when Field Mob recorded Georgia with Luda.
Yep.
So that kind of overshadowed
Yes.
what we had going on. But it's all good. But that's kind of how those songs came out. As far as my style, now I know how to control my voice. I know how to make my ad libs add to the music.
Right. It enhances it.
Enhances.
Yeah.
So like if you listen to my song now, you'll hear me, that's right.
Okay.
That's my
Do you have like that's your signature ad lib? Okay.
That's right.
That's right.
So, but that's pretty much the difference. Now I think I'm more mature. I got more control of my voice. And with me having an at-home studio, what I do first before I go to the studio, I record the song. So when I get to the main studio, I can go in there and I drop like that.
Absolutely. It's kind of like putting a stencil down per se. So you kind of know how you want to deliver it.
Absolutely.
You know, how the melodies are going to be. Are you going to harmonize a little bit? I think that's important.
Yep.
Have you learned how to mix and master, or is that something you're leaving up to the...
Yeah, I leave that to the pros, man. Like I was telling my boy Jermaine, man, he's so good at what he does because he mixed Time to Shine. I had another producer mix Dynamite. But he's so good at it. I said, man, I'm not trying to be a producer. I just know what I have in my head. And the sounds, I can go in Logic and get it out. But y'all do the mixing and the producing thing.
But that helps them out a lot because you're bringing them a reference.
Absolutely.
Same thing, like I feel like if you're going to an engineer for the first time, you want to maybe provide them with a reference track of how you want your sound. Otherwise, they're working blindly, so you're able to provide them with a good reference. And I think that's probably helps them do their job 100%.
Sure.
Absolutely. You've spoken about the power of synergy and collaboration. What is it that you look for in an artist, or what do you want to feel from another artist when you decide you do want to collaborate with them?
I think it's just about a vibe and about, for instance, I don't want to work with someone that feels as if they have to carry me or I have to carry them.
Yeah.
For instance, Time to Shine. Again, shout out to Slim. Man, my man, Slim's so serious. He's the artist that's featured on Time to Shine for me. And to me, he really took the track to another level.
And ran when he did his thing.
But just, again, it's about a vibe with me. It's not about trying to outshine. So you always want to do your best when you get on the mic. You want to do your thing. But when you collab, and it's just about a vibe. Yeah. It's just about being able to get with someone, and because music is I love music so much, man. And you've got somebody else that has that same love for music and art. It's easy to collab. Yeah. But if you got somebody that's out there that's saying, thinking they carrying you, or, they think because they got more hit songs or hit records than you that, you're not deserving to be on it. So they kind of looking down on you.
Right.
I don't want to collab like that. I want to collab with cohesiveness and just coming together. Hey, man, let's just vibe for a minute. Because with Time to Shine, I actually wrote my verse. I had the hook done, and then I sent it to Slim. Slim is actually JB's son.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So you already had that synergy there.
I remember when he came out the
when he was a jit, yeah.
And when we were recording back in the day, he was a legit, man. But Slim is, again, shout out to Slim, he doing his thing.
Yeah.
Slim's so serious. Check him out. But I sent him the track. I think it may have taken him about a week. He sent it back. He's like, that's dope, man. And I think it kind of helped him because it kind of helped him switch up his style of rhyming, too.
I love that. Yeah. Pulled him out of his comfort zone per se. And I think that's important. We got to shake it up from time to time.
Absolutely.
The only time we should ever be comfortable is we're comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, it's like you want to constantly shake it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Do you physically sit down and put pen to paper when you're writing your music?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a big freestyler. I could probably do a couple of bars, but
a little 1, 2.
Yeah. But I'm not a big freestyler. My major in college was communication, so I got a communications degree.
Understood.
So journalism and all was always my thing. So yeah, I had a thick notebook full of rhymes back in the day. I can't find them now. I don't know what I did.
Man.
Yeah, but
hopefully they'll turn up one day. Because that stuff is precious, right?
But yeah, I'm a pen to pad guy.
I love it.
But I try, when I record, I try to already have the rhymes memorized.
Yes.
So
that way you're not sitting there reading it. Understood.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Since you've been doing music, again, it's been a long time. What do you feel like you probably have learned a couple lessons along the way, but what is one of the biggest lessons that you learned that you feel like every new and upcoming artist should know about?
be patient. I know we're in this 2025. Everything got to happen now.
Microwave era.
Everybody want to go viral. But I prefer to just take my time.
Yeah.
And enjoy the process. So that would be my thing. I want to enjoy the process. I want to enjoy, making music and letting it build as opposed to trying to put it on TikTok, hoping it go viral. And like you said, go viral, then what's next?
Exactly.
So that's basically it for me, what I've learned. I've learned to be patient. I learned to take my time. I learned that when you make good music lasts forever.
It's timeless.
It doesn't matter if you made it now, because like you can go put Pac on now. It's like he just recorded it.
Facts.
or Outkast or 8 Ball. That music is timeless.
Yes.
So I learned to take my time, don't rush it. And as being an independent, now it's hard out here. It's hard out here for an independent, like a pimp. Like
it's hard out here for a pimp when trying to get this money for the rent.
It's hard, man, because now with the digital age, I can't tell you how many times log on to Instagram. I got 20 different promo agencies.
In your DM, and
we can get you 10,000 followers, and we can get you 15,000 followers for this amount of money. And I prayed for it when I first put Time to Shine out. I did get with one of those so-called promoters on IG and said, yeah, man, we can get your influence up, we can get your followers. I said, cool. So I paid them a certain amount of money. I looked at my IG. I had 10,000 followers. I'm like, what the heck? So I go on. I look at them. Fake.
Yeah.
So I deleted out of the 10,000, 9,995 of them were fake. So again, my lessons is just from back in the day. To just take your time. It's gonna happen when it happens. Be true.
Yeah.
To what you're doing. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, nobody else is gonna believe
Absolutely.
in it. I love music.
Yeah.
Music outside of film and TV is my second, third love. Because my major is communications.
Yeah.
So I've always had that entertainment type love.
It's a true passion.
Yep. So
do you feel like with music being such a passion for you that you're fulfilling either all or some of your purpose through music?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm fulfilling all of it because
I love it.
My expression and my creativity comes from my heart. Like Time to Shine, it's not about being glittery and, flashy. Time to Shine just means you've been resilient, you put in the work. Now it's time to shine.
I know that's right. Time to Shine. That's another. You be making anthem songs. I love it.
And with Dynamite, it's just, we went through the pandemic. Everybody was inside all the time. We couldn't get out. It's time to have a good time. It's time to start back enjoying life. Even though life got a lot of things that's going on now, it's a lot of things that's going on, still, there's something to be happy and thankful about all the time. So I want to inspire and make uplifting music. And with Dynamite, I feel like that's just a upbeat tempo music. We ain't turning down.
I know that's right.
All night.
Listen, because music just makes you feel good. It does
Absolutely.
something to your soul. Because I feel like all of us have certain songs that are our go-to songs.
Sure.
Maybe we're just having an off day. We're having a bad day. Or when I go to the gym, like when I'm working out at the gym, I be listening to all 90s music. I'm a Florida girl, so I be listening to the Two Live Crews and the Poison Clans and the 95 because it gets me riled up when I'm in the gym, right? But then, of course, I love the whole era, like you said, of Outkast, Goody Mob, even taking it to the West Coast, Warren G, Nate Dogg, Snoop, NWA. I love that whole era of music.
Same here.
If you could go back and talk to yourself in 2003 right now, what would you say to yourself?
That's an interesting question. Just be patient.
Yeah.
Because again, back then, you didn't have these outlets, so we were out here. with the press CDs, just trying to get them out, trying to pass them out. But just be patient.
Yes.
That's basically all I would say is take your time. When it's your time to shine, it's your time.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen before. It's that time. You may want it to come at a certain time, but it's gonna come when it's your time.
Yeah.
So just be patient and humble, and be true to what you're doing, and you'll be all right.
Everybody's journey is different.
Yep.
And as the old saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy.
Sure.
So it's like if we compare our journey to someone else,
Sure.
it robs us of that the beautiful joy that we get from doing what we love. So
That's right.
I think what you just said, what you would have say to yourself, is something that's a great piece of advice for anybody that's out there. Mm-hmm. They need to hear that. At this stage in your career, what does success look like to you?
Success looks like having my music out and having a following that enjoys and appreciates my artistic contribution to the music.
Yes.
I don't have to go platinum.
Right.
I don't have, of course, it'll be done. I'm not going to say every artist wants that type of success, but for me, if I got 500 fans that appreciate my music, love my music, it inspires them, it uplifts them, I'm good.
I love it.
I mean, I'm serious. I'm not a flashy guy. I'm real low key.
Yeah.
But I love what I do, and I love the passion for what I do. So if I could get a following that is appreciative of my artistic creation, I'm good.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree, and I feel like that should be how most people look at
Sure.
it. Unfortunately, some of them don't.
That's all good.
And that's all good. That's their journey. Like we said, we're not comparing our journey.
Yep.
I heard you mention you have a 4-year-old.
Yep.
How did fatherhood change your life?
Kiki, girl.
Oh, baby Kiki.
Yep. That's just
Oh, she's beautiful.
thank you. Patience.
Yes.
That's how she changed my life. I never knew, because I've never been around a newborn. I never had been around, waking up at night, changing diapers, and any of that. But she just taught me patience. I look at her sometimes, and she's so smart. It's something about these COVID babies, man. They different.
You ain't lying. That's facts. Because I know a couple people who have COVID babies, and they're just so intelligent.
What?
Like way ahead of their time.
But she's taught me patience, and just because sometimes she'll do something, and I know she knows better, but she'll do it, and then I can catch her kind of cutting the eyes. So
little side eye, like, did he catch that?
so she just really has taught me the true meaning of being patient. I mean, that's the most I could say.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
With you having a baby girl, you have a wife, you have a family. What legacy do you want to leave through your music?
I want to leave the legacy of being able to create uplifting, inspiring music that doesn't have to sound and be like everybody else. Be true to what your creative, artistic expression is.
Absolutely.
Because she walks around the house singing all my songs.
Aww.
At 3. And when you turn it up, yes. I mean,
You're her first love. A little girl's first love is always her dad.
man, she loves Time to Shine. She loves Dynamite. My next single, All We Need. She loves all of them. When
That's
I'm down
beautiful.
in the studio, she want to get on my lap. She want to put the headphones on. She want to get on the microphone.
Aww. Have you incorporated her voice into any of your songs yet? Not yet.
It'll get there.
It'll get there.
It'll get there, but not
When the
yet.
time is right.
Yep.
Understood. Tell us one thing about yourself that most people don't know. Give us a good one. Y'all gonna learn today.
Most people don't know. One of my favorite movies of all time is Dirty Dancing.
Yo, I love that one too. That's a great movie.
I love that movie, man. I can watch that movie.
Shout out to Patrick.
Yeah, man. Shout out, rest in peace, Patrick.
Yes, absolutely.
That's one of my favorite movies. Friday is my favorite movie.
Right. Can't go wrong with Friday.
Yeah, so Friday and
Dirty Dancing.
That's so different.
So different. But that's funny though, because that's probably something that nobody would expect.
No. You probably look at me and say, Friday, okay, I can see
Friday, but Dirty Dancing? You'd be like, I can't wait for Dirty Dancing to come on. That's my movie. Had the time of my life.
Man, nobody puts baby in the corner. Okay.
Man, now I got to go home and watch it. Reminisce. That was a great movie, though. It was definitely a great movie. That is funny. So we've got this record loaded up. It's called Dynamite.
Let's get it.
We're about to get into it and check it out. Before we do, anybody that wants to follow your journey, keep up with you, where can they follow you on your socials?
Everywhere. I'm on IG, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at TeeLDub, at TEE, the letter LDUB. If you just Google me, TeeLDub, all of my socials will come out. So at TeeLDub.
Definitely. Yep. You have a lot of people that love you and support you through your journey in music and just in life, period. Who do you want to give thanks to for loving on you and just really showing you love and support?
First of all, God, of course, at the top. My wife, Gwen, my partners in the music game, Slim So Serious, Cool Gray, JBZ, all my family, just my cousins, ZE. I don't want to leave nobody out. Lily, just everybody, man. That's all in my family, in my immediate family, blood family, and just loving family. But that's basically it. Though those are the ones that really holding me down with this thing. I
love it. Yep. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Your energy and your presence is a whole vibe.
Thank you.
Definitely enjoyed it. But we're about to get into this record. Can you introduce it for us?
That's right. All right. Coming up now is my second single called Dynamite, and it's the vibe for 2025, summer 2025. So without further ado, Dynamite.
Dynamite. Y'all stay tuned for it.
You're locked in with Atlanta's hottest hip-hop station. The Hype 87.3.
Uh-huh.